The moment Aisha Thompson stepped off the train, something primitive woke inside Lee Junwoo. One look, dark skin against white snow, full lips curving in a nervous defiant smile, body moving with a confidence that made his pulse thunder, and a single word roared through his mind. Mine. He didn't even know her yet. He'd paid her to pretend, to lie, to disappear after Christmas. But as she walked toward him through the falling snow speaking flawless Korean in that soft American lilt, Junwoo understood with brutal clarity. This woman was never going to just pretend. Not for his family. And definitely not for him. Welcome to Afro-Korean Stories. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also turn on the notification button so you won't miss out on more intense stories like this. Snow swirled around them on the platform of Chongpang Village Station. Junwoo stood frozen, hands buried in the pockets of his black wool coat, staring as Aisha pulled her suitcase closer and stopped right in front of him. Lee Junwoo. Her voice was warm, low, carrying that faint Atlanta drawl underneath perfect Korean pronunciation. I'm Aisha Thompson. The agency sent me. He blinked, trying to find words. The agency had promised someone local. Someone who wouldn't raise eyebrows. Someone safe. He stopped himself. You're not Korean. Her eyebrow arched. No. But the contract said girlfriend for Christmas. It didn't say must be Korean to qualify. She tilted her head, eyes sharp. If that's a deal breaker, say it now. I'll get back on the next train. The next train wasn't until tomorrow morning. He knew that. She knew that. The silence stretched, thick with falling snow and something hotter. Junwoo swallowed. We're stuck with each other until then. Aisha's smile turned dangerous. Then you better start acting like you're happy to see me, boyfriend. He exhaled, a white cloud in the freezing air, and reached for her suitcase without thinking. Their fingers brushed. Electricity shot up his arm. She didn't pull away. The drive to the family estate was quiet at first. Junwoo gripped the wheel of his black Range Rover too tight, eyes fixed on the winding mountain road. Aisha sat beside him, coat unbuttoned now, revealing a fitted burgundy sweater that hugged every curve. He tried not to notice. Failed completely. So, she said suddenly, breaking the silence. Why does a man like you need to hire a girlfriend for Christmas? A man like me? Rich. Handsome. Powerful. She listed it like facts on a chart. Men like you usually have women lining up. He glanced at her. My mother gave me an ultimatum. Bring someone home, or she'll arrange a marriage for me. Aisha laughed softly. Sounds like my mama back in Atlanta. Except she'd just pray over me until I brought someone. Junwoo's lips twitched. My mother doesn't pray. She plans. And you? You don't date. I don't have time. That's a lie. Her voice was gentle but firm. You have time. You just don't want to let anyone close enough to matter. He gripped the wheel harder. You don't know me. I know you're scared. She turned in her seat to face him fully. I know you'd rather pay someone to pretend than risk someone seeing the real you. Because if they see you and still leave, she shrugged. That would hurt. Junwoo's jaw clenched. And you? Why take a job like this? Medical school debt. My mama's cancer treatments. Her voice stayed steady, but he heard the weight. Pretending is easier than breaking. They fell silent again. Snow tapped against the windshield. When he glanced over, she was watching the mountains with quiet wonder in her eyes. The hammock came into view, golden lights glowing against dark wood beams, smoke curling from the underfloor heating. His mother was already on the porch before he'd even parked. Junwoo. Parkoon. He hurried down the steps in her padded hanbok jacket, arms open, then froze when Aisha stepped out of the car. The silence was absolute. Yunhee's eyes went wide. Her mouth opened, closed. Oh my. Junwoo moved quickly, placing a hand at the small of Aisha's back. Yama, this is Aisha Thompson. My girlfriend. The word girlfriend tasted strange on his tongue. Real and fake at the same time. Yunhee recovered first, forcing a bright smile. Welcome, welcome. Come inside. You must be freezing. Inside was worse. The entire family waited in the main room, Grandmother seated like a queen on the heated floor, aunts flanking her, cousins sprawled with phones in hand. Conversation stopped the moment Aisha entered. Junwoo felt every stare like needles. "Everyone," he said, voice steady, hand still on Aisha's back. "This is Aisha. My girlfriend." His grandmother spoke first in Korean. "She's very different." Junwoo answered in Korean. "She's beautiful. And she makes me happy." Grandmother's sharp eyes flicked to Aisha. "Does she understand us?" "Yes," Aisha replied in perfect Korean, calm and clear. "I understand you. And I'm standing right here." A soft gasp rippled through the room. Grandmother's lips curved. Approval. Respect. "You speak well," the old woman said. "Thank you. My Korean isn't perfect yet, but I'm learning." "Sit. Eat." Grandmother gestured to the low table already laden with food. Galbi, japchae, kimchi jjigae steaming in the center. "Tell us how you met my grandson." The interrogation began. Where was she from? What did she do? How long had they been dating? What were her intentions? Aisha answered everything with grace, weaving a story about meeting at a medical conference in Seoul, arguing over healthcare policy for hours before he asked her to dinner. She laughed at his uncle's bad jokes, touched Junwoo's arm when making a point. I looked at him like he was the only man in the room. Junwoo found himself believing every word. That night, his mother showed them to his childhood bedroom. One room. One bed. "We're not married yet," Junwoo protested quietly in the hallway. "Maybe Aisha should have her own." "Nonsense." Uni smiled sweetly. "You're adults. And I want grandchildren soon." She closed the door firmly. Aisha surveyed the small room. Wooden floor, single bed, space heater humming. Cozy. "I'll take the floor." "Don't be ridiculous. It's freezing." She started unpacking. "We can share like adults. Unless you're worried you can't control yourself." His eyes snapped to her. "I'm fine." She smirked. "We'll see." She disappeared into the bathroom first. When she came out 20 minutes later, Junwoo nearly dropped his phone. Silk pajama set, deep wine color, clinging to every curve. Her natural curls loose around her shoulders, skin glowing from the shower. She looked soft, touchable, dangerous. "Your turn," she said, climbing into bed like it was the most natural thing. He took the coldest shower of his life. When he returned in sweatpants and a t-shirt, she was curled on the far edge of the narrow bed, pretending to sleep. He slid in carefully. The bed was too small. Within seconds, her back pressed against his chest. Her warmth seeped through the thin fabric. Her scent, cocoa butter and something floral, filled his lungs. Junwoo stared at the ceiling, body rigid, and wondered how he was going to survive the next few days. Morning came too soon. Sunlight filtered through paper windows. Aisha stirred first, stretching against him. A soft sound escaped her throat that went straight to his blood. She froze when she realized how closely they were tangled, her leg over his arm around her waist, hand splayed across her stomach. "Sorry," she whispered, trying to pull away. He tightened his hold without thinking. "Don't." They stayed like that, breathing together until a knock sounded, his grandmother summoning Aisha for tea. Junwoo paced outside the sliding door like a caged animal while his cousin Taehyun appeared, grinning. "She's pretty," Taehyun said in English. "Different but pretty." "Don't." "What?" "I'm just." "Don't even think about it." The words came out harsh, possessive. Taehyun laughed. "Whoa. Never seen you like this, young. Usually, you don't care who looks at the women you date." She's different. Clearly. Inside, grandmother studied Aisha over tea. "You love my grandson?" Not a question. Aisha met her gaze. "I care about him deeply." "That's not what I asked." Aisha hesitated. She could lie. Should lie. That was the job. But those eyes demanded truth. "I don't know yet," she said quietly. "We haven't known each other long. But I see him. The parts he hides from everyone. And those parts they're worth knowing." Grandmother nodded slowly. "Good answer. Love comes later. Seeing comes first." She poured more tea. He works too much. Hides behind success. His ex-fiancée left because he was married to his work. A pause. She wasn't wrong. But she never asked why. Why? Aisha asked before she could stop herself. Because his father died young, building this family's fortune. Junwoo thinks if he stops, he disrespects that sacrifice. He thinks rest is selfish. Aisha's throat tightened. He needs someone who makes him remember how to live. I'll try, Aisha heard herself promise. Grandmother smiled. Good. Now, grandchildren. I want 3, at least. Later that afternoon, the village Christmas market sparkled under strings of lights. Roasted chestnuts scented the air. Hotdogs sizzled on griddles. Junwoo's mother insisted the whole family attend. Aisha's eyes lit up at the sight. It's beautiful. You like it? Junwoo asked, surprised. I've never seen anything like it. Christmas in Atlanta was loud, gospel music, family everywhere. This is peaceful. They wandered stalls, families spreading out. For the first time, they were alone. Junwoo's hand found her waist without permission, guiding her through crowds. He bought her hotdog when she eyed it curiously. I watched her bite into the sweet pancake, cinnamon sugar on her lips. You're good at this, she said, licking sugar from her thumb. The boyfriend thing. So are you. Maybe we're just good liars. Or maybe, he said carefully, it's easier when part of you wants it to be real. She looked up sharply. Before she could respond, a voice called his name. Junwoo. He turned. Choi Soo-jin approached, radiant in a cream coat, her new husband at her side. Perfect disaster. Soo-jin, he said flatly. Merry Christmas. She smiled brightly, eyes flicking to Aisha with poorly hidden shock. This must be, Soo-jin trailed off. Aisha Thompson, Junwoo said, pulling Aisha closer. My girlfriend. Aisha slid her arm around his waist. Nice to meet you. Soo-jin's smile is brittle. How did you two meet? Medical conference. Aisha said smoothly. I'm a surgical resident. Junwoo was keynoting. We argued about healthcare economics for 3 hours before he asked me to dinner. Soo-jin's eyes narrowed. How passionate. Very, Aisha agreed, fingers tightening on Junwoo's side. The subtext crackled. Soo-jin made excuses and left quickly. The moment they were gone, Junwoo realized he was shaking, with possessive rage. You okay? Aisha asked softly. She looked at you like you were temporary. I am temporary. No, the word came out fierce. You're worth 10 of her. You see people. Really see them. She never did. Aisha's eyes softened. Junwoo. He cupped her face, thumb brushing her cheek. Snow caught in her curls. I know this is fake. But right now, I want to kiss you. And it has nothing to do with the contract. Her breath caught. Bad idea. Probably. We have rules. I know. Junwoo. He kissed her. Soft at first. Then deeper when she gasped against his mouth. She tasted like cinnamon and snow. Her hands fisted in his coat, pulling him closer. The world disappeared. When they broke apart, foreheads touching, both breathing hard. This complicates everything, he whispered. Yes, she whispered back. It does. They walked back in charged silence. That night, in the narrow bed, distance carefully maintained, Junwoo stared at the ceiling. He was falling. Hard. Fast. For the woman he'd hired. The woman who would leave in days. And it was going to destroy him. If you're loving this story already, the tension, the chemistry, the way Junwoo is losing control, imagine missing what happens next. Imagine not knowing if Aisha stays or runs. Don't do that to yourself. Hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications. Because if you don't, you'll carry that regret every time you wonder how this ends. You deserve to see their full journey. Subscribe. Don't make yourself wait. The next morning, the house buzzed with preparations for the extended family gathering at Junwoo's uncle's hammock across the village. Aisha smiled through breakfast, answering more questions, letting aunts touch her curls with curious fingers, laughing when grandmother declared her strong enough to give me healthy great-grandchildren. Junwoo watched it all with a tightness in his chest he couldn't name. Every time she touched his arm, every time she looked at him like they shared a secret, the lie felt thinner, and the truth felt heavier. By evening, the larger house was packed. More relatives, more food, more eyes. Aisha never faltered. She spoke Korean fluently enough to charm, switched to English when Taehyun teased her, even helped in the kitchen without being asked. Taehyun found her alone near the pantry, refilling a tray of tiak. "You're good at this," he said in English, leaning against the counter. Aisha stiffened. "At what?" "Playing girlfriend." Almost had me believing it. Her heart dropped. "I don't know what you're talking about. I did some checking." His voice was low, serious now. No record of Aisha Thompson as a surgical resident in any Seoul hospital. In fact, no record of you in medicine at all. Blood rushed in her ears. "I think my cousin hired you," Taehyun continued. "And I think it's brilliant, honestly. Solves the family pressure with money and planning. Classic Junwoo." Aisha set the tray down carefully. "Why tell me this? Why not expose us?" "Because he's happy." Taehyun's eyes softened. "I've never seen him smile this much. Not even with Sujin. He laughs. He looks at you like you're the only person in the room. Whatever this is, real or paid, it's working." He stepped closer. "So, I'm not going to ruin it. But I am going to warn you." His voice turned steel. "Don't break his heart. He acts unbreakable, but he's not. If you hurt him, fake girlfriend or not, you'll answer to me." Aisha swallowed. "Understood. Good." He smiled again, like the threat never happened. "Now let's get back before they send a search party." That night, sleep wouldn't come. Aisha lay staring at the dark ceiling, Junwoo's steady breathing beside her. Every moment replayed. The kiss in the snow, the way he'd held her like she was precious, the raw want in his eyes. She was in too deep. And tomorrow was Christmas. The job ended the day after. She slipped from bed carefully, padded to the kitchen for water. Grandmother sat at the low table, sipping tea in the moonlight. "Can't sleep?" the old woman asked. "Too much on my mind." "Sit. I'll make you tea." They waited in silence as the kettle heated. Finally, grandmother spoke. "You're leaving after Christmas." Not a question. Aisha's fingers tightened around her cup. "Yes." "He doesn't know yet." "No." "It will hurt him." "I know." Her voice cracked. This was never supposed to become this. Grandmother's eyes were kind but unflinching. And yet it did. "Life laughs at our plans." "I can't stay," Aisha whispered. "I have debt. A life and soul that's barely holding together. My pride. And he has resources. Money. The ability to fix those things." "I don't want his money." Aisha stopped, horrified at what almost slipped out. "You want him," grandmother finished gently. "The man. Not the bank account. The person who hides behind walls. You want to be the one who keeps him." Tears burned Aisha's eyes. "It doesn't matter what I want. This started as a transaction. I can't afford to love a client." "Too late." Grandmother patted her hand. "You already do." The truth hit like a wave. She loved his quiet intensity, his unexpected gentleness, the way he looked at her like she was a miracle. She loved a man she could never have because everything between them was built on deception. "What do I do?" she whispered. "Tell him the truth. Let him choose. He'll hate me. Maybe. Or maybe he'll surprise you." Grandmother stood. Junwoo is stubborn, emotionally constipated, but not a fool. He knows what he feels. Question is, are you brave enough to let him feel it? Aisha returned to bed, with those words burning. Junwoo was awake, watching her in the dark. "Where did you go?" "Kitchen." "Couldn't sleep." He reached for her without hesitation, pulling her against his chest. "Better now." She should pull away. Keep distance. Instead, she burrowed closer, breathing him in, clean soap and warm skin. "Yes." "Good." His arms tightened. "I don't like waking up without you." The possessiveness wrapped around her like safety. "Junwoo," she started. What happens after Christmas? He stilled. What do you want to happen? You first. Silence stretched. Then, I want you to stay. His voice was rough. Not as the hired girlfriend. As mine. Really mine. Her heart stopped. You don't mean that. I've never meant anything more. He shifted, looking down at her in the dim light. I know this started fake. I know we've known each other for days. But Aisha, when I look at you, I see everything. Someone who makes me want to be better. Someone worth coming home to.
Stay.
Give us a real chance. Tears pricked her eyes. You're crazy. About you? Yes. He cupped her face. Completely certain. She should say no. Protect herself. Instead, she kissed him. Deep. Desperate. Pouring every confused feeling into it. He groaned, rolling until she was beneath him, weight pressing her into the mattress. Hands roamed, learning curves, drawing gasps. Fabric disappeared. We shouldn't, she breathed, even as her legs wrapped around him. Tell me to stop. His lips trailed fire down her neck. Tell me you don't want this. She couldn't, because she wanted him more than air. What followed was slow, then urgent. A collision of need held back too long. He whispered her name like prayer. She clutched him like he was the only real thing in her world. When release came, it shattered them both. After, tangled and breathless, Junwoo held her close, fingers tracing lazy patterns on her back. I meant it, he murmured against her hair. Stay. She pressed her face to his chest, hiding tears. Tonight, she let herself pretend it was possible. But dawn brought clarity and terror. She watched him sleep, vulnerable in a way he never allowed to awake. She'd done this, made him hope, made him open, and she was going to destroy it. Carefully, she extracted herself, dressed in silence,
Packed her bag.
Grandmother was in the kitchen, preparing rice. Running, the old woman asked without turning. I have to. He'll come after you. I know. Aisha's voice broke. That's why I need distance. Grandmother turned, eyes sharp but sad. You're breaking his heart to protect yours. Noble. Stupid. But noble. I lied from the beginning. He deserves truth without me attached. He deserves to choose. Grandmother handed her a wrapped package. Food for the journey.
Go.
But know this. Love isn't safe. It's messy. And sometimes it starts exactly like this. Aisha fled before she crumbled. The first bus left at 6. By noon, she was back in her tiny soul apartment, surrounded by silence and regret. She lasted 3 hours before sobs started. Junwoo woke to cold sheets and devastation. Her side of the bed is empty.
Bag gone.
Clothes gone. A note on the pillow.
I'm sorry.
This was never supposed to become real. Thank you for the most beautiful Christmas of my life. Aisha. He read it 4 times. Rage built, hot, blinding. She left. After everything. After he'd bared his soul. After he'd had her, in every way. Grandmother found him 20 minutes later, still clutching the paper, jaw clenched. Go after her, she said simply. She made her choice.
No.
She made a scary choice. Grandmother sat beside him. She thinks she's protecting you from her lies. I think you deserve someone perfect. She's wrong. Then prove it. Grandmother gripped his hand. Strength isn't hiding vulnerability, Junwoo. It's choosing to be vulnerable with the right person. Aisha is the right person. Even when I see it. He stood, decision burning through the pain. I need her address. Grandmother smiled. I already wrote it down. The drive to Seoul took 4 hours. Junwoo spent every minute planning, calling contacts, pulling strings. He hadn't built an empire by accepting no. By the time he reached the city, he had everything. Her apartment, her favorite cafe, her Tuesday study spot. It was Tuesday. Aisha sat in the back corner of a quiet cafe, textbook open, eyes unfocused. She kept replaying last night. His touch, his voice, the way he'd looked at her like forever was possible. She'd ruined it. The chair across from her scraped. She looked up and froze. Junwoo stood there in a black coat, eyes stormy. How? I'm a venture capitalist. Finding people is what I do. Saturday, we need to talk. There's nothing. You left. His voice was low, dangerous. After everything. After I told you I wanted you to stay. After he cut off, jaw tight. Heat flooded her face. That was a mistake. Was it? He leaned forward. Didn't feel like a mistake when you were saying my name. When you were holding on to me like you never wanted to let go. Junwoo, please. No, steel in his voice. You don't get to run and tell me to leave you alone. You made me feel things I've never felt. Made me believe in something real. Then vanished like it meant nothing. It meant everything, she whispered. Tears spilled. That's why I left. Explain. This started as a lie. You paid me. I needed money. Everything between us grew from deception. How can real love come from that? By choosing to make it real. He grabbed her hand. I don't care how we started. I care about you. The woman who sees through my walls. Who makes me laugh. Who makes me want to live, not just succeed. I'm in love with you, Aisha. Completely. Tears streamed down her face. You deserve better. I deserve you. His grip tightened. And you deserve happiness instead of running from it because you think you're not enough. I love you. And you love me. I felt it. I see it now. She had no defense. He stood, pulled her up, kissed her right there in the cafe. Deep, claiming, tasting of desperation and hope. When he pulled back, forehead against hers. Come home with me. Let me prove this is real. I'm scared. Me too. He smiled faintly. But I'd rather be scared with you than safe alone. Her walls crumbled. Okay, she breathed. I'll try. A real try. His smile was devastating.
Good.
Because I wasn't leaving without you. 3 days later, Aisha sat at Junwoo's penthouse dining table overlooking the Han River, books spread, trying to study while he worked in his office. It felt surreal. Domestic.
Right. His phone rang.
She heard his tone shift, cold, sharp. When he emerged, fury carved his face. What's wrong? Nothing you need to worry about. Junwoo. He sighed. Business issue. The Han family, they're threatening to pull a major deal unless he stopped. Unless I end things with you. His eyes met hers. They say a black girlfriend damages my reputation in conservative circles. Ice flooded her veins. How much is the deal worth? Doesn't matter. He crossed to her, cupped her face. Listen carefully. No money, no deal. No reputation matters more than you. If they force a choice, I choose you. Every time. But your career will survive. I'll make other deals. But there's only one you. He kissed her forehead. You're not negotiable. The conviction stole her breath. I love you, she whispered. Say it again. I love you, Lee Junwoo. Even though you're overbearing and possessive. Especially because of that. He grinned. What followed involved the dining table, scattered books, and breathless need. Later, tangled on the couch, peace settled in her chest. But peace never lasted. The next week, Aisha returned from class to find her old apartment ransacked. Belongings destroyed. Red paint across the wall. Leave Korea or pay the price. She called Junwoo, hands shaking. He arrived in minutes, with security. His face was lethal calm. The Hans has to be. He dialed already. If they think threatening you will make me bend, they're about to learn. Junwoo, no violence. I won't touch them. His smile terrified. I'll destroy them financially.
He did.
Within 24 hours, hostile takeover. Controlling interest in their companies. The Han Empire crippled. That night, he held her close. No one threatens what's mine. The possessiveness should have scared her. It made her feel safe.
Cherished.
What now? She asked.
Now.
He pulled a ring box from his pocket. You marry me. She froze. I was going to wait. Do it properly. But I'm done waiting. He opened the box. Platinum band. Single diamond catching light like a star. I love you. I want you as my wife. Forever. Children with your eyes and my stubbornness. Everything. You're insane. About you. He slid the ring on her finger. It fit perfectly. Marry me.
She should think.
Be rational. Yes. The wedding was swift 6 weeks. Hanok ceremony blending traditions. Grandmother officiated, tears flowing. Taehyun best man grinning. Family celebrated like they'd always known. Junwoo's vows were steady. I take you, Aisha Thompson, as my wife. I promise to love, protect, challenge, and cherish you. To be the man you deserve, even when you forget you deserve happiness. You're mine forever. No refunds. Laughter rippled. Aisha's voice shook with happy tears. I take you, Junwoo, as my husband. I promise to love, see, and keep you human. You'll never face anything alone. You're mine too. No returns. Their kiss was deep, unseemly for company. Relatives whistled. That night in their penthouse, Aisha stood by the window in her reception dress. Regrets? Not one. Good. He wrapped arms around her from behind. Because I'm never letting go. Possessive. You made me believe in ending this happiness. That deserves obsession. She turned, kissed him slowly. I have news. He stilled. I went to the doctor. I'm pregnant. About 6 weeks. Silence. Then he lifted her, spun her gently, eyes shining. Say it again. I'm pregnant. Emotion cracked his voice. You're giving me everything. A family. A future I didn't think I deserved. He knelt, kissed her still flat stomach. I love you. I love her, baby. I love that we started with a lie, and it became the truest thing in my life. 6 months later, in the nursery of their new house, Aisha watched Junwoo paint clouds on pale yellow walls. Their daughter kicked constantly. We need a name, she said. He set the brush down, hands on her belly. Grace, he said suddenly. I want to name her Grace. Grace Thompson Lee. Both heritages. Because that's what she is, Grace. Proof that love can come from anywhere and become everything. Tears fell. I love it. Grace arrived 3 weeks early on a snowy January morning. Labor was brutal. Junwoo never left her side, held her hand, took every curse, and promised the world. When Grace cried her first cry, Junwoo wept openly. You're incredible, he whispered to Aisha. The nurse placed Grace on Aisha's chest, tiny, perfect, dark curls already. Junwoo touched her hand with reverence. Hi, Grace. I'm your dad. I'll spend my life making sure you know how loved you are. That night, hospital quiet, snow falling outside, Junwoo held Aisha's hand. Do you remember Christmas? Me waiting for someone safe. Someone who'd disappear. I remember you looking like you wanted to murder the agency when I stepped off the train. He smiled. The moment I saw you, I knew you'd ruin me. And you did for anyone else. You ruined my control, my plans, and I wouldn't change it. He leaned close. I booked a fake girlfriend. Didn't expect her to see me, to love me, to become my wife, my everything. And now, our daughter is proof miracles start as mistakes. Aisha's tears were happy ones. You'll make me cry again. Good. Means I'm doing it right. He kissed her knuckles. I love you, Mrs. Lee. Forever. No refunds. Best contract I ever signed. Outside, snow fell soft and new. Another Christmas is coming. Another year of love built from hope and stubborn hearts. The fake girlfriend became his real forever. And it was the most beautiful mistake of his life. If you've made it this far, if your heart is full, if you cried, if you felt every moment with Junwoo and Aisha, then you know how rare stories like this are. Don't let this be the last one you feel this deeply. Hit subscribe right now. Turn on that bell. Because if you don't, you'll miss the next couple that might heal something in you too. You'll wonder what happened to other characters just like these. Don't carry that what if.
Subscribe.
Like. Share this video with someone who needs hope today. Comment your favorite moment below. I read every single one. You deserve more stories that make you believe in love again.
Don't rob yourself of that. Do it now.
Thank you for watching this inspiring video. From all of us at Afro-Korean Stories, Merry Christmas, even if it's not New Year yet. May your heart always be open to unexpected love. We love you. See you in the next one.